Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And this is a podcast. Yes, that's what it is. It's a podcast where me and my brother Ivan talk about movies. Now we talk about the latest movie. Ivan, what movie are we talking about today?
Dune.
Should it be called Dune Part 1?
Should be. But I don't think people would have watched it if it was part one. They would have been like, I'll wait till the second one's out and then watch it all at once.
These streamers these days.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity and the look of the name Dune, so not having part 1 is actually pretty good.
Like, how many movies only have 4 letters in the name? Like, it's always da-da-da, colon, da-da.
Like Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Anyways, Dune is the movie we're talking about today. We've been waiting for this one for quite a while. It's the movie directed by our boy, Denis Villeneuve. It's a movie that we've been anticipating because we are adamant, hardcore scholars of the book.
We're Duners.
We're Duners, man. We're Spice Lords. You like that name?
A little bit.
It's pretty good. I heard it on a podcast, so I had to use it. Sorry.
Spice Lords.
Jacked it. We're Spice Lords. We're sniffing the spice. We're licking the spice.
Snorting the spice.
We're having hallucinations about
The spice.
the spice and things that are going to happen in the future. Anyways, Dune. It's a movie that we've been waiting for a long time. Ivan, were you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. The premise of Dune. In a distant future galaxy far away, Paul Atreides is the son of Duke Leto. His family are given the planet of Arrakis by the Paddish Emperor Shaddam Corrino IV. I know, it's kind of weird, right? Arrakis belonged to the Harkonnens, and they mine the planet for spice, an invaluable mineral allowing for space travel. The Emperor's true motivation is to give Atreides the planet because they want to start a war between the Atreides family and the House Harkonnen, as he feels intimidated and threatened by the Atreides. Now, the Atreides family must prepare for the inevitable, and Paul will have to become who he was destined to be if he wants to survive. The book. Actually, no. Let's give the cast, because it's a stellar cast, right, Ivan? I like how my laptop is has just marks of dough because I was trying to make some Mexican bread that just came out horribly. It's my first time using yeast, and you have to like let it ferment. The dough was super sticky, and I was getting so frustrated. Came out bad. Anyways, the cast of this impeccable movie: Timothy Chalamet as Paul Atreides, the titular character. We have Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, Paul's mother. Oscar Isaac, our boy.
Oski Izzy?
Oski Izzy, for short.
Yeah.
A long time Peliculas with the Bros aficionado.
Oh.
Yeah. He plays Duke Leto Atreides, the father of Paul Atreides. Then we have Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck.
Gurney?
Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Dave Bautista, our boy.
Davey Basti.
Davey Bautista as, what's his name? Rabin?
Yeah, something.
I have here Glossu Rabin. I feel like his name's just Rabin.
Yeah.
Stephen McKinley Henderson as Thirfru Hawat. Zendaya as Chani. David Dasmalashine as Peter de Vries. How do you say that? Peter de Vries? That's a hard one. Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho. Javier Bardem, our boy, beautiful, as Stilgar. As we said, this movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve. It's co-written by him and two veteran screenwriters called Eric Roth and John Spates. These two are Academy nominated and they've done big films. But it seems like they're here to be like the doctors. Like, this is how a screenplay should be written.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things we need to hit. But Denny is the guy that's like putting the creative muscle behind it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about this movie. We're
What?
gonna talk about this movie.
Huh.
We're gonna talk about Dune the book in a bit.
Okay.
But before we get to that, let's take a quick break, just to replenish our spice limit, our threshold. How much spice do you think you can do?
All of it.
Oh, that's my boy.
Mm.
We'll be right back.
Mm.
Ivan. What? We're talking about Dune the book right now.
Oh man,
What got you into Dune?
the book.
Yeah.
I heard they were making a movie for it,
Really?
so I read the book,
Yeah, same for me.
but I was a little too quick with it. Like
How's that?
I read it like a year ago.
Yeah. I remember seeing it in your room and I was like, "Oh, you're reading this? Maybe I should read it." Copycat. Like, "Oh, you like that? I like it too."
Give me that. I want that.
Yeah, the book is written by a man named Frank Herbert. And the book was made in the 1960s, right? Sometime during that time. It was a bestseller at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Became a classic immediately, you know. Influenced a lot of different movies, different books. It became sort of like a pillar of the science fiction novel scene. I picked it up because of the same reason. I knew that they were making a movie and I wanted to read it, so I read it. Reading the book, what sort of jumped out at you, if anything, or what did you come away with after reading it?
It's long
Was it boring though?
at times, but like boring in a way that's like Mad Men boring. But not like Mad Men like good. Like Mad Men something else.
Right.
But like Mad Men isn't really like, it's not an action show.
Gotcha.
It's boring, but there's stuff to it,
Yes.
you know? But I wasn't like entranced in the book. Like I still had trouble reading it.
Gotcha. The book to me was, I knew going in, like, it has sort of a reputation of being sort of, like you said, long and also dense
Mm-hmm.
as far as like the vocabulary and all that kind of stuff. And as I was reading it, I wouldn't say I was entrenched, but I was very intrigued. Like, it was like a page turner,
Mm-hmm.
at least. Super descriptive. Like, when I read it, I didn't feel like there was anything mind blowing as far as like, it's what it was doing as far as like, creatively.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I imagine it was pretty creatively different than anything before, you know?
Yeah.
And its themes were sort of like stuff that we already know or seen a bunch of times, but it combines like heroism, love, power, oppressors, you know? The
Yeah.
idea of like being oppressed, environmental ramifications of your actions,
Mm-hmm.
which was sort of, even for me reading it, like now it's like, oh, I'm sort of expecting something Star Warsy,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is gonna be a science fiction blockbuster, but no, it
Political.
was political, it was environmental, but I liked it at the end of the day. It was something different that I wasn't really used to reading something like that. Throughout the years, they've been trying to make movies for Dune. Of course, there's the 1984 movie made by our boy David Lynchy, the 1984 film Dune. Critically panned. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna see it one day.
I was before this, but I was like, I don't want to watch a bad movie, you know? I wasn't in the mood for that.
I'm so in the mood for that. But I'm like that guy that's like, give me all the data.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I need all the data to really accept everything. That's not too
Yeah.
healthy, but
Yeah. I
that's
don't want it.
that's me with like music too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I find an artist, I can't just like listen to the album and be okay with it. Like, okay, where'd you grow up? Who are you affiliated to?
Your blood type,
Blood type.
social security.
Do you have a girlfriend right now? Not asking because I need to know, but you know, it's just interesting. Stuff like that. Anyways, 1984 film. I haven't watched it. Critically panned, but there was a movie version of Dune that was going to be made before the 1984 one, and it was going to be made by a man named Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this? There's a documentary about it, about like the failed attempt of making the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this because there was many storyboards made for this film in the 1970s, and a guy named Mobius, famous comic artist,
Mm-hmm.
was part of this team that made the storyboards.
Cool.
As well as another guy named, I think his name was Geiger. I feel like I'm getting that wrong. So they had this massive compilation of storyboards that they sent to the studio. The studio ended up saying, no, we're not going to make this movie. But they used those storyboards for references for films like Star Wars, Alien, Blade Runner,
Disgusting.
Terminator,
Disgusting.
and The Fifth Element.
Wow.
Which is pretty interesting, right? It's like
yeah.
the output of a failed movie ended up massively
Creating a culture.
Yeah.
It's like the first little drop of like a virus, and it's like
Amazing, isn't it? So yeah. But now it's flash forward 2016. Legendary's like, we want to make a Dune movie. Denny's like, sign me up.
me.
But first, I need to make Arrival and Blade Runner just to get that.
Get warmed up.
Yeah, get warmed up.
Be in my fighting prime.
And they try to make the movie, and we have this movie here.
Mm-hmm.
Before we talk about the movie too, I sort of want to talk about like the act of adapting something for movies.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it done before. We've seen it done successfully and unsuccessfully. Thinking about Lord of the Rings. Thinking about Harry Potter.
Okay.
I'm also thinking about like Watchmen.
Okay.
And like, how do you adapt something? What's the right way? Because there's many ways you can do it. You can do it like it has to be exactly like the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do it like, let's cut some corners and do it a little differently.
Right.
Ultimately, I do think this movie is true to the book. But obviously, you can't cover everything, right?
Yeah.
I've had that same feeling too with like Harry Potter. When I watched it as a kid, I'm like, wait, where's like this little part?
Mm-hmm.
But movies are different, right? Like, you have to only show a certain scene.
I think if you keep the same energy or like moral lesson, like etc. of the book into the movie, I think that's like what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else is like, you're going to have to do like a long TV series if you want to have every single part. Maybe that's what they should have done, but like we're not at that point technologically, fiscally.
Yeah. It costs a lot of money to do that.
Maybe in like 20 years, it'll be cheap enough where they can make blockbuster movies for like TV show price, you know?
But this is a good question, or this is something that's interesting that you brought up. Should it, like in a perfect world, would you rather see this movie or Dune, the series made by Denis? Because as a series, like you said, you can see every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a chance of seeing every single thing translated from book
Yeah.
to visual format. But in this, we see just what he wants to show to keep the movie format at least sort of working, right? To have a good movie
Yeah.
as he sees it. But it also leaves like room for interpretation. It leaves room for questioning, like, what exactly am I watching here? Or what does this actually mean? Whereas in a show, you can be like, oh, what is spice? And give a big description for like an entire episode.
Yeah.
But is that really better?
Well, it's because I don't remember exactly how the book did it. But I think if you're trying to, like, if they did some film series where it's like 8 films or something, 9 films.
Wait, Star Wars?
Something like that.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then just did every part. But it's because you could cut a lot of corners with movies too. Just because in books you have to describe what you're seeing, but in movies, there it is.
Right.
Like you cut out a paragraph.
Right. Where like 2 pages of Paul going through this spice-induced trip can be just like one scene in the movie.
Yeah. But with that, like, you could think, like, well, what's he doing? Just spazzing out on the floor?
Right. Like, you don't, because that's the thing too that I noted, that how can you convey someone thinking in a movie? Right?
Like, yeah.
Because in the book, the book's amazing because the way they describe certain, the author describes Paul hallucinating or Paul having these visions. He actually has to describe every word and like what he's thinking, right? But in the movie, Paul's not like, I have a feeling, I have a vision, and you can only show what, like, there's certain things that the book has an advantage on and the movie has an advantage on. So what really works better, right?
I think they should have done more like some special effects sort of CGI like vision. Like you go and it's like visions, because specifically I know in the book towards like the midpoint where he has like those visions with his mom.
Yes.
And they're just like alone. And he's like, I'm the one.
Yes.
Like in my mind, that was like super pretty. Like,
yes.
Like
I had the same
tons
feeling.
of visions everywhere.
Correct.
And this, he's just like,
yeah.
Like kind of like you could see what's going on, but
are you talking about the scene where they're in the thropter? When like when they're landed and he's like, you did this to me, and he got
yeah.
And
in
in
the
the book was a lot more descriptive of like the actual visions he was having.
Yeah.
But in that scene, he only had like a couple visions, and it wasn't so mind bending as you would read it in the book.
Yeah, like I wanted that to be kind of like in Doctor Strange when he's kind of going through like the multiverse of whatever.
Right.
Or whatever. It's not multiverse. Dimensions.
Yes.
I was picturing something like that, but more realistic with people. Maybe him in like a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Something more,
yes.
right? But in this, it's a little too short. And that's where it's like the book did it way better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What can you do?
I agree. I agree with that criticism. I also, movies are interesting, and movies give you like, it's the whole thing. Like once you put yourself in a box, you have to be creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give yourself a big box, like a TV show, your creativity goes down, I would assume, because like now, yes, you can basically show what the book is doing line by line. And it gives you less of a chance to be sort of like creative as far as what you can do in a movie. You can just sort of give your own interpretation and try to cram things in or space things out as much as you can. That's why it's sort of unique. Like a movie gives you sort of a different experience than a TV show can.
I hope he has a director's cut of this. Imagine. Like it would be perfect. I was thinking this, like we could be in a new age where director's cuts are a lot more of a norm. Because with streaming, you could just cut the movie for the mainstream, and then, hey, HBO Max, we got director's cut for the good fans, and maybe next week we'll play in the theaters like director's cut, or like the month before Dune 2 comes out, director's cut, we're gonna play it.
Right.
I know you already seen it, but director's cut
in IMAX.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good position to see like even more of a director's vision. If I hope he has a director's cut. Like, I'll watch more of the movie. I don't care.
Yeah. I don't think there is one though.
Could be.
Because you would have to imagine that a director's cut costs a lot more money to make too.
Well, it depends how his filming is. Like, maybe he just has these scenes that he like filmed, and then he had to cut them.
Right.
It might not be like another 2 hours, but it could be like half an hour.
Yeah.
I think that's doable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking he made like a 4-hour movie and then did 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Right.
Just like a little.
Right. Yeah. Because a 4-hour movie would have cost like another $50 million.
Yeah. I don't think he's the type to like waste money like that. I think he's more.
Correct.
I don't know if like he planned everything perfectly and like no scenes were cut. It's just like.
Especially with like a movie this big. Like it would cost so much money to waste.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Quentin Tarantino extended version is cheaper. You just need to pay for the actors.
Yeah.
He has no special effects. Well, he does, but no CGI, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll talk more about the movie. Going into the movie, Ivan, what were you expecting?
A good looking movie.
Yeah.
It was very sandy, that movie.
Has to be. Set
like
in the sand.
you felt it.
Yeah.
Like
wait. Don't go there. We'll get there. Weirdo.
That's what it feels like.
I was expecting. I guess I was expecting like an amazing movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's Denny.
Like a 5 out of 5.
No.
5 Dunes. 5 spices out of 5.
I don't think. I don't know. But I definitely didn't think it was going to be a 5 out of 5. I knew it was just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, 5 out of 5 is just too much for me.
Right.
Anyways. Where'd you watch it?
Same place as always.
So no IMAX.
No.
So, oh man, the story of me trying to watch this movie, it's so complicated. Basically, I tried to watch it like 3 times at IMAX, and I couldn't go those 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Ended up watching at home. But
what? You should. Why didn't you just watch normally?
No, it wasn't just because it was IMAX. It was just that like we had a plan and the plan changed, or I had a plan and I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
Anyways, ended up watching at home. Still enjoyed it. It's still beautiful to me. We watched it at night, so it was like quiet and I had the system loud.
Yeah.
I do have a plan to watch it in IMAX still, though.
Okay.
Because I need to watch it in IMAX, all its glory.
Yeah.
After watching it, what'd you think? Immediately, were you, or how about this? When you were watching it, what were you thinking? What were the thoughts going in your head?
I don't know. It was good.
Because, like, I'm trying to think, like, were you like, this is it? Man.
Nah, I wasn't like that. I just wanted, it's because since it's part 1, I can't get too excited. Like, I just know it's not going to end. It's still just like the start.
Right.
And I've read the book, so I already kind of know.
But that's the thing, too. Like, you read the book, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So now all you have to do is just enjoy the experience. You don't have to be like,
yeah, but
well, I can't enjoy this too much because I need to know what happens in the end.
Yeah, but in my head, when I'm reading the book, it's so much more beautiful. Not that like this isn't a beautiful movie, but like that one scene,
yeah,
like I expected a lot more from that. Like I thought that was gonna be, I thought that's where they're gonna end the movie, like when it was announced.
Yeah.
That it's gonna like part 1.
Yeah.
Because that would have been so perfect, just like some super beautiful hallucination CGI 10-minute montage, and then cut Dune 2 soon. That would have been amazing. But that scene was like too short, and like just not enough for me.
Yeah. As I was watching it, I was kind of giddy. I was like,
T.
I was definitely enthralled. I was just like all eyes on the prize.
Blink, 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 blink.
And yeah, I just had a good time. And it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't get that scene that we were hoping for,
Mm-hmm.
everything else was just like, God. Like the scale of things.
Yeah.
Like the ships were amazing.
I'm
Like
thinking
all those kind of like the settings, like just they were amazing.
I'm thinking this is like a tester. Like he had to learn everything on the spot. Like he hasn't done anything like this and scale. Like Arrival had the giant bean, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And then Blade Runner was more for like looks. So he kind of got like the practice around. But I think my theory is that this is like after he learned everything from this, like Dune 2 and 3 or whatever it's going to be, that's where it's going to be a lot more honed in. Not that this was like messy, but like the first try for anything is not going to be as good as like the next ones.
What about The Matrix?
I don't mean, I know you're going to, I knew it.
Okay, sorry.
I don't mean it like that.
Sorry.
I don't mean it like that. Like
just visually?
Just that, like,
because honestly, I know what I feel like I know what you're trying to say. Like, you're saying that everything is gonna be better on the second one.
Yes, if it's like a trilogy already. I don't think The Matrix was it?
Was it a trilogy already? I don't know. I don't think so.
Because if there's nothing like the Star Wars 4 technically was one, but Star Wars 4, that was the start, and then 5 was like just way better, and then 6 was good.
I wouldn't say it's way better, but it's better.
And that's okay. I'm just trying to think of an example where.
Let me ask this: where did you feel sort of let down, as far as like I wanted a little more, not just like
yes.
Visually,
yes,
in that one, but just like the fact that the movie ends with sort of
a little poopy fight.
Not a poopy fight, but it ends with him just going with the people. You know, like it doesn't end climatically.
Yeah,
there's no big climax. It just like fades away in a way. Did that sort of leave you with like, oh, I knew there's gonna be 2 parts, but I still feel like I wanted more?
No, it's hard to say how I feel without having the knowledge that I read the book, just because I have exactly how I think the movie should go.
Okay.
And it just wasn't like a big thing for me was like that I noticed in this movie that I also saw in the book now, that like thinking back sort of thing. Like, you don't really feel that they're rulers of anything. Like, any of them. Like, the Atreides, I know they had that planet, but it felt like it was just their house on a hill, and that's all they had.
Right.
Like, I didn't see their people, like, who they ruled.
Right.
And then when they went to Arrakis?
Arrakis.
Like, I saw the huge city, but really, there's, like, the scene in the start where you saw, like, the robe people.
Yes.
They're, like, praying to him,
and
then like a few commoners here and there, but I didn't feel like they were
kings and queens.
Yeah, which is.
And you did feel that in the book?
No.
Then
I'm saying like that's
a scene that actually works.
No, a criticism that I noticed in the movie that also hits the book.
Okay, got you.
So it's like I guess they couldn't do anything about it because if they're adapting the book. Well, I don't know, but like another thing is like if it's the sand planet, like no one's gonna be outside, so
Right.
you're not gonna see anyone.
Right.
So I kind of forgive that.
Right.
But I think I should have seen a little people on Caladan.
But okay, so you're saying you have this vision of how the movie should have been. The movie didn't end up being exactly like that. Of course, it can't be exactly like that, but at least a little bit more like that, right?
Sure.
That's a common criticism of all books adapted to
Yeah.
movies. I felt that with Harry Potter when I saw it. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's some things missing here that would give it more oomph. That being said, though, I do think that the movie did enough for me and it was faithful enough to the book that it didn't let me down in that aspect.
Okay.
Like I knew going in that it wasn't going to do everything that the book did.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it did interpret some of the parts of the book, I liked.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's going to change person by person, just like a viewpoint, like whatever it is. But I did have a feeling of like, this movie isn't like, you don't go to it for, it is a blockbuster, but it's a different blockbuster than like I was saying about like Star Wars, or
It's like a slow burn.
it's a slow burn. It's a vibe.
Don't do that to
Like,
me.
You go to it and you just go there to just like look at beautiful things. Like, yeah, your heart's going to go up certain scenes, but it's a chill movie, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to be looking around just like, dang, all this spice and nowhere to place it, you know?
I just want the next parts. I don't like it.
You don't like having it unended, huh?
It's just hard to like give a fair grading or score or review of it if it's like the first episode. You could say, yeah, that was good, but I don't know how it's gonna end.
But does that matter? That's like one of the ideas I had too. Like, I heard someone else say nothing happened in the movie, and it sort of ends with like nothing. Like,
yeah,
and they're like, Zendaya doesn't even do anything in the movie.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that's true. The movie does end sort of like with a whimper in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the actors, they don't have too much screen time and blah, 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 blah. But the movie is still an experience.
Yeah.
Like, what does a movie have to do to be... It's I guess it's a really simple question, but it's complex in a way. Like, what does a movie have to do to be called a movie, you know? Like, it's a piece of art that you're watching.
Be finished.
Does it have to be finished?
A little bit. It has to have an end. Because it's part one. Like, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm saying, like...
But you are.
No.
Because the movie... You didn't...
I'm saying I can't grade it fairly if I have to grade it on half a movie.
But that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, it's a full movie.
But it's part one.
Yeah.
Parts are like
what if
of a whole.
Okay, how about this? What if you never read the book? What if it didn't say part one? What if you...
How would I know the answer to that?
I'm just saying, like, theoretically.
Okay.
Put yourself in a mindset where this is a movie called Dune.
Well, then Star Wars Episode 7.
Sorry, I'm not good with numbers. What happens at the end?
That's the first Rey movie. I don't know, but I remember that. I remember thinking, like, it's a good start. But what's next? Because it's a trilogy and it's episode.
So, to me, that seems very, like, consumer-centric. A consumer-centric view. Like, that's a big problem I have. I don't like you.
Jeez.
No, for real. I don't like you. No, just kidding.
Jeez.
No, I just think, like, this movie Correct. It ends with like a cliffhanger, you can say, but it's still an amazing movie.
Yes.
And we should be able to grade it without thinking, okay, I need the next one. To me, that's like a sort of something you've been wired to feel like.
But if it's a book that's like, if it's based on a book and it's half of the book, wouldn't you want the whole book? If you read half the book and stopped at where they ended, you'd be like, okay, where's the rest of the book?
It's gonna come out in a couple years.
Okay, I'll grade it when I read the whole book.
No.
Why not?
Because it's an individual piece of work. It's like you can grade an episode of Game of Thrones or a season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You like season 2 better than 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
You could do the same for this. Like it ends, season 2 of anything ends with like, I wonder what happens on season 3.
But I could say like, oh, it's good, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep this up the whole time.
That's fine. But we're not talking about the next movie. We're talking about this right now. We're talking about in the moment. Dune Part 1. Is it a great movie?
Yes.
Or is it a bad movie? Or whatever, Yes. Is it anything?
Yeah.
If it ends without telling you any kind of narrative, that's where I'm like, okay, this is a bad movie.
Okay.
I just think that there is a certain mindset of people that's like, I need the next thing. I need a complete story to fully like this movie.
Okay.
But this movie is sort of pushing the boundaries, being creative in the way of like, I'm going to leave this right here. Yeah, there's going to be a part 2. Well, thankfully now they've announced it, but there could be a part 2. But if not, what do you think happens? Like,
but
it's a hero's tale.
But it says part 1.
Yeah, sure.
If it didn't say that, then I would say that's fine. But if it literally says part 1, then you're gonna expect the whole story.
Yeah.
Like I know what you're saying. Like if it ends there, it's like life goes on, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if there's another part of this life goes on, let me see the other part.
And you'll get to see it. But for now, how is this body of work?
It's good, but I don't think it's fair if I rate it on half of it. I don't think it's fair for the movie. Like I'll rate it, but then you'd be like, how dare you?
Okay, I see what you're saying. But that's another thing. Like, does a movie need to tell a complete narrative?
No.
To be a perfect movie?
No. But it should have an end. Like a kerchunk end.
So any movie that is like part of a trilogy, the number 1 and number 2 can never be a 5 out of 5.
It would have to be if like a John Wick trilogy, that doesn't count because they're like stories, a complete story. But if it's like Star Wars 4, 5, 6, they're like, that's a trilogy where they're going from a story to like.
So you're talking about like Matrix Reloaded and Revelations, where like Reloaded never ended, really? I mean, Reloaded ended with
I never seen them, so.
So Reloaded ended with like still something to be said.
Yeah.
And then Revelations finished the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never give Reloaded a 5 out of 5, even if it was top tier everything. You can't give it a 5 out of 5 because it didn't end yet. I need to see
think I would have
Revelations.
It wouldn't be a fair 5 out of 5, and it's different with Matrix because I don't know if they planned 3 or if they saw 1 was good and like
they planned 3 because they shot both and they released 2. It's like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2.
They shot 1 and 2,
and they released 2 first. They waited 1 year.
No, Matrix 1.
Yeah, no. They made Matrix 1. A couple of years later, they made Matrix 2 and 3, and then they released 2. And 1 year later, exactly 1 year later, they released 3, already having it in stash, already filmed it, edited it. They just waited a whole year to release it.
That's different though, because it was Matrix 1. Since it wasn't part of that trilogy, in it.
I'm asking about 2. I'm not asking about 1.
Well, I would have to watch it.
Would you give 2 a 5 out of 5? Given that there's still another part. Same thing with Deathly Hallows.
Like theoretically,
Part 1. Would you give part 1 a 5 out of 5 if it was a perfect movie? No, because according to you, it didn't tell the full story.
correct.
Gotcha. But okay, then I think that's the mindset of like I need to see. You're basically saying part 1 can't be a 5 out of 5 because technically there's another part missing, and I can't grade 1 without
Maybe
the
like
other.
a 5 out of 5 half. but I don't know. That sounds weird.
No, but you can do like this movie is perfect. The third one, the next one sucked.
I don't know. It's like it's going into like theoretical movie reviewing.
It's not because like all you have to do is say, taking this movie as it is it a perfect movie, or is like what is this? I keep saying perfect, but like what is the grade of this movie just by itself?
I would have to watch part 1 and 2 of Deathly Hallows because I really don't remember it.
Wait, let me get this on record. To accurately grade this movie, you have to watch part 1 and part 2 of Deathly Hallows?
No. I would have to watch part 1 and 2 of Deathly Hallows to see like how good part 1 was and see if like it had some sort of end that I'm looking for, or if it's just like if it ends similar to this where it's like okay,
I'm just saying, can you take this movie as it is?
Yeah, but you won't like my score.
That's fine. To me, that's totally fine. Like you can give it like a 3 out of 5, and I'll be fine with that. I just want you to give it a grade, without being like. But I need to see part 2 to really give it the full grade, because I don't think that's true. I think it's like someone gave you like a donut.
That's not the same.
Yeah,
because you can get full off of one donut.
No. Someone gave you a donut, and you're like, I ate the donut. It's delicious. But I need to eat the second donut.
No,
I ordered 2 donuts to give you the actual review of this place.
It's like you got a huge pizza. You eat half of it. Like, that was good pizza. I got to eat the whole half.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
That's what you're saying.
Because the experience of the first half of the pizza isn't going to be different from the second half. You could have a bite of it. It's the same pizza. But the movies are tons of different moving parts and everything. It's not.
No, okay. This is what it is.
Okay.
Go eat at. I have a
and your food.
I have a pizza slice at Mike's Pizzeria.
Okay.
Perfect pizza slice. All right, bye. By the way, I can't grade it accurately until I come here the next time and try another slice.
No.
That's the same thing.
No.
Because that's part 2 of your journey with that place. And
Would
honestly,
there be a difference?
I can see that take where it's like, to see the consistency of this place, to give it a good grade, I need to come back a second or third time.
No.
I know your no means like no, but I'm not going to tell you
It's
why.
because it's hard. I don't want to use the food metaphor. Can we use like a metaphor that's like a
Yes.
TV show?
Yes.
Because it's hard to compare food with a movie.
Okay.
TV show.
But
Because TV shows are exactly this. They're part 1, part 2, episode 1, episode 2. Succession. Let's use that.
yeah, like the first episode you liked,
Yeah.
but you can't grade the series until you watch.
I could say like first episode's like, wow, that was a 9 out of 10. But I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't know if they keep the quality. Because there could be some poopy. Like the Walking Dead first episode was like their best episode. I'm not going to grade the whole show.
But that's the thing. We're not asking you to grade Dune, the trilogy. We're asking you to grade
Episode
Dune
1 of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Wow.
And it... You're like, no, I get it.
Wow, now I can fairly rate this.
And that, like, ultimately, that's all I want. People should just experience what they're watching and not be like, but we'll see if it can hold up. No. Did you have fun today? Yeah. Tomorrow's gonna.
Well,
suck.
I think you can say both. I was like, that was good. Let's see how the next one's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not like, that was good, but I don't know.
Okay, how about this? Do you think if Dune Part 2 is like 5 out of 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will it make Part 1 better?
A bit. I think, if anything, I would have to rate them together.
Right, because you're like, I guess that's another aspect of like, can you grade it on a scale that's not based on like, I didn't get enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that's like, and you were saying it too, like, I'm going to give it a grade, but you're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you grade it without that sort of like feeling of like, I needed more, so that's why I'm going to give it a bad grade?
Say it again.
I guess I'm sort of confused too, but it's like, you're going to give Dune a grade, right?
My expectations are here, but it didn't reach it, so it's going to be worse. Even though, like, on its own, it should have been like a 9, but I just thought it was like, it should have been way better.
Yeah, but the should have been way better could be a realistic take. Like,
Yeah.
it should have been way better because they could have done this better.
Mm-hmm.
But should have been way better because like it's missing a second part. That's different. Like, I want us to look at the movie and be like, without any idea of like the Dune ecosystem, just a pure review of Dune Part 1.
Okay.
But I think you would need to view it again in a different set, with a different set of eyes and a different mentality, right?
No. I just did it in my head.
And it got lower.
You made it worse, Adrian.
Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll talk more about the movie. Let's talk about some of the good things about the movie. The set design, beautiful. The costumes, beautiful. The cinematography, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Soundtrack, you like Hans Zimmer? Hansi Zimmery?
Yep.
I love the sort of tribal yelling from that one girl. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hurt my throat. But yeah, to me, like, visually, the movie was what I wanted, minus a couple of things that I, like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have gone above and beyond with like the vision aspect.
Yeah.
Started having me thinking, how much do they need to convey? Looking at it, watching the film with Tanya, my wife, she has no idea what Dune is, right?
Yeah.
Super confused the whole time.
Yeah.
She eventually understood the main concept of it.
Like the book, huh?
Right. But she's like, who are these people? Like, why are they, who's these witches, basically?
Yeah.
And it had me thinking, is it the movie's duty to protect that booty? No, just kidding. Is it the movie's duty to explain certain things? Or is it good to have the viewer, if they're sort of not indoctrinated with the book, to have these ideas like, what is this? What is that? What is this?
I think it was pretty faithful to, like, because it just showed them living their lives. Like, in real life, if they existed, they wouldn't be like, I am the witches of this. My job is to do this. Like, that's bad writing.
Yeah.
You'd have to show, not tell.
Yes.
Sort of thing. And they do explain a lot. Like, there's a scene where he's, like, in his bed and he's, like, reading about the planet.
Yes.
And, like, that was a form of explanation.
Yes.
It's, like, interesting to see that. And then, like, Jessica, she explains it, like, the witches a lot. Like, everyone, the whole movie's just explaining things. Shut up. But they explain a lot, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I lost.
But
I lost.
I lost something. But there is a thing I used to do as a kid watching movies when people were talking, I wouldn't listen. That just sounds like super stupid of you.
Yeah.
To say, but like movies, when I was a kid, like if they started talking, I'm like, all right, give me some things blowing up, you know?
Yeah.
Knowing the book and me as like more adult version of Adrian,
Mm-hmm.
more mature, I obviously try to listen to things more and like try to get heady when I can. But those kind of explanation scenes, they can get lost on like a Joe Schmo who's like thinking like 12-year-old Adrian, like, give me some action, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see, well, like, what are they talking about?
I think they explain enough.
They do. No, I guess what I'm saying is like, for the average viewer, they really need to be on their toes.
Yeah.
If they need to understand this movie. And I like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you should definitely listen to what you're watching. Don't just expect like them to like give you everything easily.
Yeah. But like that, it just means the next half, part 2, is going to be filled with the good stuff. Because that's how like the book was, like a lot of explanation, and then this next part's mostly just like him training, getting better.
Yep.
And fighting. It's like a war.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good. Like that's where the action is, but they have to spend the whole part explaining like the setup to this dude.
Yep. And also the back to the question of like, is it good that the movie doesn't give too much easily? You know, I do like that because it gives the viewer, it makes the viewer confused, leading to rewatchability. You know, it makes them. It's like how we talk about art. Like, take it how you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You can either like read the book and get all the info you want,
Mm-hmm.
or look online, or don't do that. Just assume certain things.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the viewer like different ways to experience the movie, and I think that's creative. You know,
Right.
like you don't need a movie like Star Wars to have action all the time. You can just sit down and watch a good movie.
Yep.
But I know like her brother was like, I didn't like the movie. It was too slow.
Yeah.
And I get that view, but the like making more movies like this, it might change how culture.
Like a vaccine of slow movies.
Yeah. No.
I hate that analogy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But it's also the idea of like this generation needs constant like.
I don't think that's the fix. Like slow movies.
No, it's definitely
like,
not.
they need
and
to-
it won't happen.
Yeah.
That's like optimistic Adrian
yeah.
over here. But like the culture now is used to this immediate feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Our was it attention span is declining second by second.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like. I like having this movie and being like, fuck your attention span. If you're
Okay.
not gonna listen, you're not gonna get the movie.
How cruel of you, Adrian.
I like it.
How so cruel.
Do you like that though?
I don't care.
You don't really see it in that context.
No.
That's fine.
I just let things exist until it doesn't, I guess.
You let them?
Yeah.
Are you some kind of emperor?
Yeah.
Still suit. You like how it was represented?
Yeah. It's pretty much what I imagined. Like the only thing is they would cover the face, I think, in the book.
Uh-huh.
But like you need the actor's face, so I'm not even gonna care about that.
Spice.
That was cool. It was like subtle. Like just a little glitter in the air.
Yeah.
That was close to what I imagined. I thought it'd be redder, like a little more like crimson.
When they had it there, it was, right?
I don't remember.
Like there was a scene where like
I pictured the planet of Dune a lot more red,
I gotcha.
but I think that's just because they don't really want to use CGI, and just like left it
Yeah. It's better that way.
as sand.
The blue eyes of the Arrakis people. The Fremen.
I don't know. It felt a little fake, but I was picturing just like blue,
Pupils.
maybe like bright blue. You know?
Yeah. The visions, we already said.
Yeah, I need to be more little Doctor Strange like, colorful. Because in the book, it made him look like he was going Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Like he was turning into a god.
Yes.
And this one, it just like he got a little bad tummy ache. Had to
Don't
work through
say
it.
it like that. It wasn't that bad. Jesus. I like the blend of like artsy with narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, they are trying to tell the story of the Atreides family,
Mm-hmm.
but he does sneak some like artsy fartsy stuff in it. Are you a Denny disciple?
In what
Do
way?
you pray to the house of Villeneuve?
I tried to.
What's your favorite Villeneuve movie?
What does he have?
He has. So I've only seen Enemy, Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049.
That's the ones I've seen.
He has like 4 previous films before that.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite Denis Villeneuve? You say he's the guy, right? Like what?
Oh yeah.
When we've talked about him, you're
Hey,
like,
shut up.
He's my man.
Shut up, man.
He's the next guy.
Yeah. I would say to watch, I think Blade Runner would be my favorite, but I think his best is Arrival.
Mm. And what makes you
Say that?
no?
Because I can.
What makes you a fan of the Villeneuve house?
He's the guy. He just gets it done. He just gets it done.
Oh, that reminds me of like when in post game interviews for like basketball. Like what you guys
They threw me the ball.
how'd you guys win today? Well, we played really hard today.
Sweat dripping.
Committed in our defense, played like a team. That's what I hate like about those interviews. Like they always say the same thing. We just gotta work better and talk, communicate more, and
Yeah.
play like this every game, and we'll be good for the rest of the year. What do you like about LeBron? He's a good teammate. He's smart. He knows what to do. It's like, all right.
I think it's because they don't care. I bet it's like a joke to them. Like, let me just say the most basic stuff.
It is.
Because that's what they want to hear.
It's exactly that. And it's great when you have like someone who's like there's this guy named Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
And he's like from the hood. And he's so raw.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, what do you like? What do you think about I forgot what he said. Giannis. And he's like, that dude's huge, man. Like he's like very jokey about it.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's different. Denny, what do you like about Denny?
He still feels new, so I can't.
But
I got to see the
not.
rest of his movies to judge him
He's-
properly.
He's very
But new and mainstream.
yes.
Because I'm a mainstream type of girl, so I need to see like how he functions when he's like Nolan level of he's making Interstellar.
He's there too. He's Nolan level.
He's
now.
like right there. Like whatever he does next besides Dune, that's like what Nolan will be doing after Dark Knight trilogy. Because this is his Dark Knight where he's like, now I
No.
can do whatever.
Yes, it is. It is that, but he's not as mainstream. He doesn't have the mainstream
Pull
popness of Nolan.
yet.
I don't think he has that because he likes like dark stuff.
Yet. The Dark Knight. Get out of here.
All right, bye guys.
Stupid.
Like he's more of he's a horror guy.
Indie.
I shouldn't say horror. He's like
I know what you mean. He's like indie. He doesn't want to be
he's not indie. He's like he'll take the blockbuster movies,
Stark.
but it has to have someone like eating someone's guts.
He's not even a horror director. He's
No,
just
I know. He just likes dark stuff.
Stark. Like your hope's gone sort of feel.
Yeah. I heard, did you hear his interview with Nolan? He's like, and I knew like once he said this, I'm like, okay, this guy's crazy, but I like it. He's like, I had to have, what's Harkonnen? What's the guy's name?
What, the bad guy?
Yeah.
Something Skarsgård?
I had to have the Baron scene where he's completely naked because he was just so beautiful. And it was a beautiful image. I was like, all right.
I like him.
Yeah. I know what
Yeah.
this guy's about.
Yeah.
He's about the disgustingness.
The body horror.
Yes. And it's like you said, not so much horror. He just likes disgusting things.
Yeah.
and that's he doesn't. Nolan doesn't have that, and he doesn't have what Nolan has, which is like the appeal to mass.
I know what you mean.
He just ends up having these sensibilities that a lot of people like, but that doesn't make.
He's gonna be like a David Lynch then. No. Who is he? The one who made Mindhunter?
No, it's not David Lynch. It's David Fincher.
Yeah, he's gonna be like that.
Yeah, he's more on that alley.
And he can pretty much make whatever.
Yeah,
Not to Nolan levels, but like if he wants to make a movie, I don't think too many people are gonna deny him.
Yeah, I think that's a better analogy of he's a Fincher disciple. If he like, that's a better analogy. Yeah. But yes, back to the point. Like, I don't think after this, his next movie is gonna be something more like Zodiac than like Tenet or Interstellar. You know,
What did he do?
because Interstellar is like a pop album.
What did Nolan do after Dark Knight Rises? Interstellar?
Inception.
Really?
Yeah, Inception was his like him after Dark Knight. I think.
Okay. Rises?
I think.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, that was kind of poppy.
Yeah, but Denny won't do that.
I'll see where he goes. Like, he can do whatever now.
Yeah. I wouldn't say whatever.
Well, whatever.
He could do a lot more now.
But I don't think he really would want to do whatever. Like, he's not going to do some crazy.
He won't do like an Inception one.
I think he can do anything he wants creatively, but he's not going to do anything insanely crazy.
Correct.
Because he's not that type of guy.
Correct.
Next.
What a boss. I think that's it. The acting. What do you think about our boy Chalamet? He's becoming a mainstay of Peliculas with the Bros.
It was good. I wasn't like, this is Mr. Paul. But like, I don't know. There wasn't much in the book where I was like, this is going to take some acting, you know?
Yeah. I think the next one is going to be his film, you know?
Yeah.
This was like sort of his mom's film, Lady Jessica's.
Yeah.
As far as acting goes. Like, she had to really go deep and have all these different kind of feelings. And I think her performance was good. And Zendaya, I'm waiting to see her. Her and Stilgar. Come on, boy. That's going to be like the acting masterclass. What? Yeah. Remember that scene when Stilgar's like,
yeah,
just spits? And I'm like, yeah.
Thank you for your gift of moisture. It'd be cool if that's like becomes mainstream. So like spitting isn't like
seen as the meaning.
Like people spit at you like, oh, thanks for your gift of moisture.
Rewatchability of this movie.
Sure, I'll watch it again.
I'm gonna, like I said, I was trying to watch it today, but didn't have time. Gonna watch it tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, I want to watch it multiple times. It's high on the rewatchability scale.
I think in like a month or two, I'll rewatch it like regular on TV, and then I'll rewatch it again before Dune 2.
Dune 2. So they went into this movie pretty much saying that they're gonna make a part 2, but it was never announced. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, they said they are gonna make a part 2. Imagine they never made part 2 though.
It'll be a crime.
It'd be crazy. But I'm super happy to know that they're committed, and it's good that this movie's successful. Like, that's very big for the creative culture, I guess you could say.
I think we're into like the new age of theater now. Like, it's not like where we're thinking like, oh, what's theater gonna be now? Like, we're in it now, sort of thing. Where it's gonna be this dual release of streaming and theater, and streaming isn't gonna be as detrimental to the health of the movie in the box office as like we all thought it would be.
Yeah.
I think people are underestimating other people in the way that like we don't think like I didn't think people cared about theaters as much as I would. But I think everyone just enjoys the theater experience. Like I underestimated how much people
Like the theater.
like normal people like the theater.
Right.
And I could admit I was wrong in that sense. So I apologize to you idiots out there. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. The theater is it's ritualistic. It's nostalgic. And
Potent.
it honestly is like it's a place where you go to concentrate on one thing.
Okay, Mad Men. Okay, Don Draper. Nostalgia. It's delicate.
We're going to go. We're going to do things right with meaning, with purpose. What's behind us is behind us. This year is a new year, damn it.
It's like you're yelling at a dog.
Be proud of your work. Because we're going places. The next spot is the moon.
Jaguar.
Creative in my office.
Shut up.
Like that, eh?
Not at all.
The last part was my favorite part.
That's like literally from the show.
Oh, gosh. Best scene. Let's do this. I love the scene where the herald of the emperor comes and is like, House, the emperor says that the Atreides are to take Arrakis. Do you accept? I love like that performative gesture.
Ritual.
Yeah. And then when just the whole scene, I love that when Leto's like, how much did it cost them? And the guy's like,
oh yeah, doing the mental math.
5 million. You know, that was creepy but good.
Yeah,
and that's something they didn't talk about at all. Like
they didn't
the
explain.
Mentats, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole like little
lore
subplot lore, right? That they didn't even touch.
But it's cool because they like just that little bit shows that there's something different about this guy.
Yes.
He's like an advisor, but he has something else to him.
And it goes back to the point, like an average viewer is like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, go read a book, or
or just wait.
Try to or not. Just try to assume what you think it is.
Yep.
That's what I love. What scenes do you like?
All of the scenes with the Baron, just like looking at him, I was like, this guy's so ugly. I just want to slap him, and then I want to hear that sound. Yeah, like not even just the mud scene, but like when he floated that first time.
Yeah,
I just like the look of him.
Yeah,
like
his design.
Yeah. And when he floats, it's like you don't see his legs, or you see it just like floating funny.
It was like a ghost.
Yeah.
Like a humongous fat ghost.
Yeah.
What about that scene where he's like eating in front of the
yeah.
He's like,
and then naked Oscar Isaac.
So messed up, huh?
It would have been funny if he's like just calls him ugly like when he wakes up, like you eat like a pig. Like, I kind of thought you were gonna say something like that just to like mess with them, to get him close. And then that whole scene when he bites the tooth, that was like, I really liked how that looked. Yeah, like that sequence was probably my favorite actually.
That was very brutal.
Yeah,
like I just felt like disgusting
because he's dead.
Yeah,
he's dead.
And then like his mental was just like,
and a single tear as he knew he was dead too. So good.
The helicopter rescue scene was pretty cool. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite actually, but the Ben Gesserit meeting.
The tick or
like he has to put his hand in a torture box.
Mm-hmm. I think I could do it.
Yeah, I like that, and that was a good thing. That was a good scene by Chalamet where he's just like,
tasty.
dirty whore. How dare you make me do this?
Yeah.
He's like, whoa. I like that scene.
It was a little funny.
Yeah, it was.
Because I don't remember. In the book, I feel like they explained it. Like, I think the book really benefits from, like, explaining what that stuff was. In the movie, I think it's a little weird. Not like... I'd imagine it's weird for people who don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's in the box? He's just like, pain.
That was great, though.
Yeah, that was good. I'm just saying it's weird, like, out of context.
Yeah.
And he takes it out and it's nothing. So it's just like a...
But in the book, too, it was nothing.
Yeah, but...
He's just like, he looks at his hand and not a mark, not a blemish or something like that.
It's just weird. But not, like, bad. It's just funny.
Arriving to Arrakis was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, any scene where, like, the ships were just, like, arriving somewhere was amazing. The look of it.
So dry.
So dry. I felt parched.
Yeah. I think that's, like, what they did well. Like, you felt dry.
Yeah.
When you watched it.
I also like the scene where, like, the Harkonnens, I don't think the Harkonnens, I forgot. They're attacking the Atreides at night at Arrakis. And our boy...
Aquaman?
No. Well, yeah, Aquaman too, but Thanos was running. And he's like, basically like, dear God. Like, he knew everything was going to shit.
Yeah.
And, like, just that devastating look on his face was, like, amazing. Just to look up and, like, we're all dead. Like, but he's still like, let's fight, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want from a guy named Gurney Halleck.
Gurney Halleck. He gets it done.
Like, what more would you want from a man named Gurney Halleck?
It is, like, the perfect name for, like, someone who just does it. Like, a man's man.
You do what you need to do, don't you?
Yeah. Gurney.
All right, Ivan. After this short break, we're gonna rate this movie, and we're gonna divide the audience. We'll be right back.
We'll do spice.
Okay.
Grams of spice.
Okay. How many grams?
Barrels of spice.
How many barrels of spice is this movie? I feel ridiculous.
You're the one.
No, I wanted to do 5 tickets.
That's
tickets
worse.
would be easy every single time.
But it's basic.
We're basic boys.
Not me. I don't care. I'm not fighting.
Okay. 5 spices out of
5 barrels of spice.
Out of spices. See, I don't even know what to say.
5 barrels of spice.
I feel like we're talking about monkeys.
5 barrels of monkeys.
I'm going to give it tickets. I'm done.
I'll do barrels. I'm going to keep up the tradition. And then
Okay.
they'll be like, this guy's a classy dude.
Okay. Out of 5 tickets, I give this movie a 4.5.
You're disgusting. I give it.
And honestly, once I say this, it'll rest easy. This was the hardest movie I've rated this year. Hardest movie to review.
Okay.
For what it is.
Part 1.
I think the part 1 was hard to take it on.
I walked out of the movie with my rating in mind.
But that being said, and there were certain things that had me feeling a certain way, but at the end of the day, I love the movie. 4.5.
3.75 barrels of spice out of 5. Wow. And that's a good score.
And you should be happy with that score then.
Indeed.
What's the main negative mark about this movie that you could give?
I think a lot of its issues are from the book. So like you adapt the book, you're gonna inherit the same issues. Like they never felt like royalty, just like they own a planet. If that's what they did, I guess. But I never felt like they were powerful, you know? Only the Baron a bit, because he had like a flying ship and he was like 500 pounds. and he floated. Like, he felt powerful.
Yeah.
And if the Emperor was scared of the House Atreides, I think I should have felt more of their power. Like, I know they had the army trained by Gurney Halleck in Duncan, Idaho. And even in the movie, they're trained, but their forces are less than ours. So even then, like, they don't feel like kings and queens like they should be. Like, I felt like Game of Thrones, they felt more like kings and queens. Like, even Jon Snow felt more royal than these guys, and he was like a mudblood in that movie or show. The visions, like, I think that's just super important. Like, like, that should have been a lot more in the movie, because that's kind of what the whole movie is. The whole book is about, and probably the next book. But for something like that important, I think they should have done visions, like, super, like, future looking, something artistic. I don't know.
Yeah. Something more, though.
Yeah. I think that's it. And then just general, I hate the movie. Just generally. But 3.75 is good. It's like a B+, but you can't do direct multiply.
I know. I was like, well, technically.
That's not how
I know.
out of 5 works.
It is a B+. I just think this movie is great.
What'd you give The Last Duel? 4.5?
4.5, yeah.
I gave it the same score. 3.75.
I think the one mistake I graded, the one off grade I have this year is No Time to Die.
What'd you give it?
I think a 4.25.
Jesus Christ.
If I had to regrade it, it would be a 3.75. I was highly influenced by my theater experience.
Okay.
But this movie, I saw it at home, and it was amazing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to watch it in theater.
And it's going to be like a 5 for you, huh?
It's going to be like...
like, stupid.
I'm going to be on the corner. And you're like, what's wrong with him? Oh, he just loves this movie so much.
That's what he normally like.
Yeah. And my main gripe is like that it's sort of similar where it's like, it's sort of what it's inheriting from the book. And it's that it's kind of like the same story we've always heard, the hero's tale, and like a messianic figure rising to power. I'm like, okay, I'm not really too interested in that idea. The parts that I like about the movie are like the more abstract parts, the imagery, the look, the feel, the vibeness of the movie. Not so much of like, this is the plot, which is weird. That's like a different, that's what I like, specifically what I like. So 4.5 tickets out of 5. And Ivan, 3.75 barrels of spice.
The spice melange. I'm going to make each name more convoluted each time.
All right. Dune. Ultimately, are you happy with this movie?
I'm never happy. Yeah. Like, it's part 1. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, I want the rest. I want it all.
You're a fickle fan.
Indeed.
All right. Let's talk about more stuff. Things and such. Ivan, it's time for the section we like to call
Things and Such.
Do you have any...
Besides Succession?
No, I have something for you. Do you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks later take on Young Thug's album, Punk?
It's gone like a fart in the wind.
Damn.
I'm not like... I'm just over rap.
I know, I could tell.
I'm just over it, Adrian.
I know. Wale, did you listen to his album?
No. Jeez. I hate his name.
Why?
Should be pronounced whale.
Well, no, because it doesn't have an H.
Whales. the country or
He's not English.
city?
He's Nigerian. You're racist.
It's the same language.
Jesus Christ. So I'm doubling down on my hip hop fandom, and I'm listening to albums that I know are gonna be good. Wale's album is good. It's
Did he put his soul into it? Did he put his heart? Do you feel a man's soul when you listen to Wale? No.
It's definitely not his best album, and I feel like he's at a place where it's like rap isn't as important to him as before.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good album. Wale is from the year 2010, and he is a rapper who came into prominence because of his lyrical ability.
Okay.
I know that falls on deaf ears for youngins like you.
What?
Who are like, lyrics, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That's you now.
That's you, boy.
That's you now.
I like all kinds of rap.
You don't like Kanye.
You only like Drake, Kanye, and Kendrick Lamar.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you to a T.
I like West Side Gun.
Ew, he sucks.
I like Freddie Gibbs.
He's the same thing.
And I like Playboy Cardi. That's how far my
taste goes.
Yeah.
Into the trash.
Yeah, and you're over here sipping on like you only like drinking gold.
It's my bad for having standards.
Yeah, and I'm over here with the peasants eating whatever I want and finding great things in the trash.
That's no way to live.
Well, that's the way you look at it. But the way I really look at it is like everything is good. Not everything is good. I should say that. Sorry.
Everything is like a
I'm
good 7.5.
I'm a hip hop fan.
Okay.
Through and through.
Don't die on this hill. You don't have to die a hip hop lover.
And every album that comes out, I'm going to try to give it its time of day. And I'm done thinking about it like how you think about it. Like, what's next, though? Because that's your main issue, man.
My thing, I want soul in what I hear. And I don't hear that at all.
Because you're not listening.
I heard
Freddie
punk?
Gibbs' his last album is amazing.
Is there soul?
Yeah.
Probably. He's good, honestly. But I'm just not into
that's your
drug
issue.
rap.
You don't like rusty things.
Rusty?
You don't like
Rusty.
you don't like apps. You don't like
What? What?
You don't like things that sound
bad.
Like if you hear a snare that isn't a complete like robotic snare, you're like, get me out of here. If you hear
no, that's not true.
If you hear texture, you're like, I'm out of here.
That's not true.
This is too analog for me.
It just I'm just gonna say this and you're like, shut up. I've heard this same thing from you before. But look, first and foremost, I want heart. Freddie, sure, he has it. But like, is he doing anything different with like all these rap? Is West Side Gun sounds like a rapper I heard 20 years ago. Like all of these, like Griselda, like they just sound like a sound that's been done. And if you like the sound, sure. But I don't want to hear something that's already been done. It's like with Silk Sonic. Like, yeah, that's super good. But I felt like I heard this 80 years ago.
The Freddie Gibbs album is different because it does sound different thanks to Alchemist's production. His production style hasn't been done like his is kind of innovative.
But I need different lyrics on top of that. What does
No,
he
you
talk
don't.
about? I do.
He talks about his life, and his life is unique.
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs.
Is he improving his life? Is he growing as a person?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Freddie Gibbs is a bad example because I know he's good. I'm just not into him.
Why?
Because I don't want to hear it.
Why?
I don't really like
It's
his
hip-hop.
I don't really like his personality. First off, he's
Like aggressive.
he's just like a negative dude. Like he has Boozy, how he was like, he has that kind of energy. I don't like that.
Does, but he's
good.
No. He has that, but he also has Boozy has the like brashness, but he has the wrong point of view.
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs has brashness, but he has the right point of view.
Not all the time.
Most time.
He has something about him that I don't like.
Immaturity?
A little bit, but it's not, because I don't really mind immaturity. Just maybe immaturity, like emotionally or something.
Okay, then let's switch it. J. Cole.
He's like over mature. Like he thinks he's better than everyone because he meditates an hour.
J. Cole's album is great.
Yes.
But you don't listen to it anymore.
Correct.
And that's a shame.
No.
It is.
But even him, it's like there's something about him I don't like.
But you're picky. That's the thing.
I deserve to be picky.
But you're robbing yourself from great things.
But I can't unfeel how I feel.
Do you listen to music regularly? When do you listen to it?
Right now, all I'm doing is like random songs I remember or I hear randomly and I think are good. I just put them on a little playlist and then repeat them over and over again. Like while
you're
driving, sometimes gym. Sometimes at gym I just play like nothing. I just have headphones in. But I don't really listen to music that much. I'm trying to get out of rap and listen to other things. So that's why I'm making those playlists of songs out of rap, so I can like kind of inoculate myself with a sound that's good, that's outside of rap.
What is your? Have you found anything intriguing?
I mean, I like the songs. There's like Radiohead was one. Like I haven't listened to all their albums, probably one, but just like a couple songs that I rinse over and over again.
Gotcha.
Like I had like 3 James Bond themes in the playlist just because I liked how they sounded. I was rinsing those. Like some random old Japanese artist. Like I listened to one song and I really liked how it sounded. I was just rinsing that. I don't know what they're saying, but it sounds nice. Like just stuff like that. And the playlist looks horrible. Like it has no cohesion in any way. But I like all the songs on it.
Yeah.
So that's like the inoculation of a different sound.
Yeah, I think what's happening is you're becoming mature. And
rude.
And rap music inherently is not mature.
It can be.
It can be, but it's few and far between.
Yeah.
Like you don't, and the mature ones you wouldn't listen to.
Like? Don't say J. Cole because he's not mature.
He's mature.
He's over mature, which is still like immature.
Okay. Nas.
He's old.
So you want to listen to a new mature artist?
A little relatable, like someone newer. I like Baby Keem a little bit.
You will never listen to Mavi.
Is he?
He's like from the.
Isn't he DJ Khaled's last feature on everything?
Maybe you're thinking of. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but he's like the Earl Sweatshirt family of rappers. Like Mike, you know Mike. Have you heard that guy?
Yeah.
You will never listen to him, and he's mature. And Wiki. You like Wiki?
I don't know what that is.
He's a good rapper, but you wouldn't listen to them.
Maybe
because it's like boom bap.
Yeah.
But it's a different style. It's like Alchemist Lane.
Okay.
And they talk about like introspective stuff, bettering themselves, the wrongs of like humanity, of things, stuff of like that, of like.
I'm interested.
Everyday life.
I'm interested, but I don't like boom bap too much. I don't like old sounds. Old and as in like not modern. That could be like 2019.
Right.
Is old.
Right. I'll send you something your way.
A little hit.
Little ditty.
Little ditty.
Before we go, Evan, A$AP Rocky's Live Love A$AP mixtape is coming to streaming services tonight. Little 2-minute spiel. When that came out in 2011, I think, it was a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was following his ascent, and the sound of the album was very revolutionary at the time. Hazy.
I like A$AP Rocky, but he doesn't do much.
That album I thought was like, that's my favorite album of his.
Okay.
Unfortunately. After that, he sort of he tried to go pop in a way, and he retained some of that haziness. His newer albums sound, what I do like about A$AP still is that he does go for more like experimental music.
It's like experimental pop because it's not like
right. He likes a good sounding album.
Yeah.
But his Live Love A$AP album to me was like amazing.
I'll listen to it.
And I love that it's coming out on streaming services. That's where I fell in love with A$AP Ferg too, because he came out on a song called Kissing Pink, and he just sounded so different. I was like, who the hell is this guy? How is it possible that a band, or not a band, but like a crew has two poppin' artists? I was like, damn.
That's all they had.
I know. I was like, this A$AP thing is going to be huge, but that's all they had.
Funny.
Succession.
So good. You could really feel like...
This one was better than the first episode.
And that was good too.
Yeah.
But it's like a conversation you finally want, or you finally get to see.
Yeah.
Like that moment where they were talking about like the cruise ship scandal stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, we knew.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know. We knew.
Yeah.
And like, yes. Like this is what I wanted for so long. Like this conversation. And then when Connor said he's out, he's like, "You're irrelevant, leave. You're irrelevant, leave." And Connor's like, "Come on." That was so funny.
so bad for him.
That was so funny. I know. I felt bad, but it's like funny how
he's like, "You're out. Come on. You're out. You're out. You don't matter. You're out. You're out."
It was
and like, come on. It's like, no, you're out.
So good.
He's like, you don't even mean anything to me.
Oh my god.
So brutal.
Yeah, but it's like that. That's how it would go, you know. Because he didn't really actually matter. He would more be like...
He matters.
He's just like a good face to have because he's like a brother.
Yeah. Well, that he matters.
Yeah. But if he's out, then it's like, okay, then leave. Yeah. That's it.
But like ultimately the
other
Romulus and Shiv matter the most.
Yeah.
And when they both said no, like I love how everything's playing out basically. Like you see the impact of certain things. And when they said no, it's just like, oh god, I felt bad for.
And then Shiv, like she's so fake. Like,
yeah.
What's this? Kendall's just telling her straight to his face, like, "You wish you were me. You should have done what I'm doing." And like everything like that we're thinking, he's just saying it to her, and she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And like those kind of people when you like call them out and they just like don't let it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like insane to see. That and Kendall's like the good guy.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
he's the only thing we have here.
Yeah,
the good team.
I still think Kendall's gonna make it in some way, like not perfectly on top, but I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, because the first episode you'll say like if there's a score sheet, Kendall 1, his dad 0. This one is now it's like 1-1. So it's going to keep going like that. Like, who's going to win? Who's going to win?
Yeah.
And then Greg was hilarious.
Like the third team now. Team Greg.
And then he's like, when he's talking to the lawyer, he's like, I just want to do what's best for me, basically.
Yeah.
He's like...
And he's like really us. Like, he's the normal guy.
Yeah.
But he has like good senses, though. Like, he knows what to do, but he doesn't have the confidence to fully say like, "You're not my lawyer. I'm gonna get my own lawyer."
Yep.
He's just like, "It was nice meeting you. This isn't a real meeting."
I love his grandpa too. How he's like always uses like humongous words.
Like he said, what did he say? Like this is like platitudinous or something.
That's very platitudinous of him. He's like, yeah. I agree, man. I agree.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's getting good.
It's only episode 2, huh?
Yep.
My weekly routine, like it's aligned perfectly. Like so I have on Monday is like my last. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday's like my Friday, and then Succession comes out Sunday night. So I don't watch the Sunday night. I leave it for Monday night, and then Monday night after work, I get like my super bad cheat meal.
Jesus, you're like gorging yourself.
It's for like
your eyes are gorged, your mouth is gorged.
Feel like the Baron a bit. But it's like the most like hedonistic cheat day ever. Like eyes are filled with perfect media, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like it's a cheat.
Yeah.
Like one, and then the rest, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had that. I know exactly what you mean. Like sometimes things just align perfectly.
Yeah.
Just like, wait until that breaks and you're like
that Monday night. I'm a demon. I'm a demon.
It's demon time. you put your phone to silent. It's demon time. All right. Anything else for the beautiful people?
Nope.
That's a long. Nope.
I was deflating.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to Peliculas with the Bros. It's another great episode here at the Afrasio household.
Part 2.
If you, a couple of years. Find this in a couple of years where we're talking about doing part 2. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. That would mean a lot to us. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere, please leave a review, a rating. We would greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next week to talk about the next film. What film is that?
Is it Eternals?
Is it?
Eternals or Last Night in Soho?
It's going to be a meaty next month because we got that, and we also got The French Dispatch.
Another Timmy movie.
Timothy. Oh, yeah, Timmy. I was like, no, it's a Wessie.
No, it's like, a Timmy movie.
Oh, yeah,
it's a Timmy movie.
Well, we'll see. Well, it's probably Eternals. Maybe it's Last Night. I think it's Last Night. I think Eternals comes out 2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we'll be back next week. Peace out.
Bye.